Halo 4. A Halo 4 review. Now, naturally, you'd expect, out of all the good reviews that this game was giving, for me to give it at least a decent score. I'm going to give it a decent score. It's not going to be good, alright? Because, I'm sorry, I don't know how the hell IGN can give this game a 9.8. Near perfect. Halo 4 near perfect. I mean, that score alone is just so much bullshit in there. Near perfect, really? Anyway, I'm not going to give Halo 4 a good review, alright? I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of you guys are going to be surprised about what I'm going to give it, alright? And this is a campaign review, first off, alright? I'm not a PlayStation fanboy. You know, if I was a PlayStation fanboy, I wouldn't own an Xbox 360, alright? Let's think logically here. I don't hate the Halo franchise. I'm annoyed with it for it continuing for so long. Microsoft not really putting any effort into changing its core gameplay or introducing something new at all. But still, it's a good quality shooter. It always has been. So Halo 4 basically picks up, I guess, where Halo 3 left off. I never beat Halo 3. I thought the campaign was boring. I just couldn't get myself to beat it. Again, you play as Master Chief, and it's Cortana. Now, this story, right off the bat, is a much more personal, more emotionally involved story. The AI Cortana is basically becoming corrupt, and she's on the path of corruption, and she starts freaking out. This causes her to completely freak out, like overload us, or do things like some things she'll do wrong, you know, and sometimes it'll take a while for Master Chief to be able to communicate with her because she's you know, becoming unstable. It's an unstable AI. I guess they deteriorate after 8 years, and it's been like, or after 7 years, and it's been like 8 years or something like that. So she's on the path to corruption, all right, of data. So the whole kind of story is basically Master Chief trying to rush and save Cortana, because if Master Chief can get to Dr. Halsey, the creator of the Spartan program and the AI Cortana, I think she is the creator of the AI Cortana, Dr. Halsey can fix her up. That's the whole thing, alright? That's what they show you right off the bat. And now there's much more, the plot expands and becomes more open, it becomes more complicated than that. The story right off the bat is good. It's definitely interesting. I loved watching the cutscenes and seeing the story progress. That was my favorite part about the game, watching the cutscenes and watching the story unravel and progress forward. I thought the cutscenes were done really well, and they definitely, you know, in terms of character models, bam, they got character models right, like, spot on, right? Halo has never been a really graphical, beautiful game, and, you know, it's kind of odd because you would think that Bungie would put more effort into their graphics because it is, like, a flagship Xbox series. Finally, Halo finally gets the graphical appreciation that it deserves with 343 Industries. The game looks great. The best looking game on Xbox 360? I don't know. The game has like some anti-aliasing problems, so that's why I'm saying that. I mean, you go in, you see this nice, beautifully architectured area, and then it's all jaggedy where the lines are. I mean, keep in mind, I'm playing this in upscaled 1080p, you know, and the anti-aliasing just should have been done better. I mean, that's really the only problem with the graphics, is the anti-aliasing, but, I mean, it's just the limitations of the console, I guess. But as an Xbox game, it looks damn good, alright? Now, my biggest problem is not the fact that the gameplay is the same, alright? The gameplay is the same. The controls are tweaked, and they feel a little bit more precise, but essentially it's the same Halo gameplay. They finally... I don't know why it took them this long, but they finally added Sprint as a standard in Halo. It was a standard in first-person shooters ever since Call of Duty 4 came out. I don't know why. I mean, like, they tried to do it with Halo Reach, like, oh, look, you have specializations that you can pick up. And one of the specializations were Sprint. But it's like, why is that a specialization at all? Why don't you just make it a standard, you know? People like to use this excuse, oh, it's Halo. It's just how Halo is. So Halo's supposed to be this watered-down experience, this basic first-person shooter? I mean, it should be more than that. It should be an epic sci-fi shooter. But the core gameplay is just basic. But they finally added sprinting, which is nice. The guns also pack a little bit more of a punch to them, so they don't feel like toys. They actually do feel like firearms, like the assault rifle has noticeably a lot more recoil on it. It's not like a old. You can still, it's still very much a run and gun game, but the gun kind of kicks back some more, and you can feel that in the vibration of the controller as well. It definitely feels like a real weapon, which is nice. Now, my biggest problem with the game is the fact that the level design is just awful, awful. Don't get me wrong. The beautiful architecture, and I'm a huge fan of sci-fi shooters, I like that whole futuristic, and alien stuff too. That's nice. But they developed the... Is that my cat? They developed the levels are created so that basically they surround you with enemies, first of all. There's so many enemies on screen. It's one of those big, action battle levels. And they have so many enemies, some tough enemies, some little enemies that shoot you, and there's just a bunch of enemies here. And then they barely give you any cover. Like, on the last level of the game where you have to, like, jump through different platforms and stuff like that, there's, like, no cover. There is, like, no cover. And there's, like, enemies, like, that are, dropped here. They're on top of me. The worst part is on this one part where, suppose this. You're staring straight at enemies, all right? Here's an enemy. Alright, here's an enemy. Here's you. You're staring straight at enemies. And there's like a bridge. It's like a one-way bridge that goes across. And you have walls and stuff like that. Alright? They have enemies shooting at you from this direction. Let's say 5 enemies here. Then they're going to have 3 enemies that can walk on walls and shoot you from down here. Alright? Then you have another 2 enemies that are walking on walls on the other side that are shooting down here. You take cover behind a little pillar right here, or like a wall, like there's a little stand, or a little cover area, alright? It blocks the enemy's fire. But the enemies from the wall will come around and flank you, come from behind you, all of a sudden now you're fucked, you're out of basically health, then the enemies come and bum rush you up to here. This happens so much throughout the whole campaign. It's just a bum rushing of enemies. And you can say, oh, you just suck at the game. It's not the case. If you're going to put a bunch of enemies on screen, you cannot expect me to kill everyone with a headshot and have 50 grenades that I can just throw. You can also not expect me to just be able to run and gun and just like that's essentially what the game wants you to do. It expects you like to run and gun, but Halo is again it is a run and gun series, but when you have enemies that they're coming at you from all directions when you really have no health and the game is forcing you to die and start over at a checkpoint, I mean it's incredibly frustrating. I felt like I was forcing my way. Actually, no. I was forcing my way through the whole campaign. Probably around like 2-3 hours. Probably around like maybe 40% through the game. I was just bored. Or I was not bored. Okay. I was frustrated. Alright. Because the story was, keeping me interested. But I was frustrated. I wanted this damn thing to end in a hurry. Alright. So frustrated at the fact that I was getting killed constantly. There's enemies everywhere. They overload you with enemies and give you like no cover. And then they have enemies that can walk on walls too that flank you. I mean, seriously, come on. And when you're out of ammo, good luck. When you're there, I thought in the previous Halo games, like they give you your pistol and your pistol had infinite ammo. You don't have infinite ammo in this game for your sidearm. At least I thought they did in the previous Halos. I might be wrong about that, but there's like. Ammo can be scarce at times in certain big battle areas. And you can say, oh, you just pick up a weapon in the battlefield. Well, if I'm down here, and I just shot a bunch of enemies right here, right? And I'm out of ammo, but a bunch of enemies are coming over here to, that are coming over here to basically the same position as the ones I killed, then I'm supposed to have enough life I'm not going to have enough, life, even on a full life bar, to go over there, grab it, go all the way, or just start shooting, because there's going to be enemies on the sides and stuff like that. So, the core gameplay works fine. Just how it is. I just wish that the level design wasn't as horrible, and that was really my only problem, and that's just what I had. It was just frustrating level design that made the whole campaign just feel annoying and just frustrating the whole way through. So, the game's about 6 hours, which is actually shorter than I thought. I thought it would be about 8 to 10 hours. It's only 6. So, and, that's on normal mode. So, but yeah, short campaign. The thing is that they say get Cortana to Dr. Halsey. You finally get he never gets Cortana to Dr. Halsey. You get to Dr. Halsey, but he doesn't say Cortana needs help. He just basically says, it's like, you have to destroy this thing, right? So let's get the nuke, let's destroy this thing. He never says to her, hey, can you fix Cortana afterwards? At least I never remembered him saying that to her at all. And even so, the game doesn't end with Cortana, all better, which leads me to believe they're just going to continue it off in Halo 5 and have, finally, all Halo 5 is going to be out is saving it. So, that's it. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to give the game a 7.5, alright?